My name is Mike Jaeger from Charles City, Iowa. I run a 4530 SoilWarrior with the X row units. So last year I strip-tilled this field last fall. It was really good corn. It was 275 bushel corn. I just came right in with my SoilWarrior and stripped it down the middle of the rows, and now I'm coming back with my planter with row cleaners on it and pushing off any of the corn stalks that might be left on the strip, and then just coming back and placing my seed, and it does an exceptional job not having to touch these strips, just going right in and planting. So the reason I first started strip tilling is because of labor. Me and my wife do most of the work. I farm with my mom and dad, but unfortunately they're getting old enough that they can't do a lot of the work, so we don't have a lot of labor. And the unique thing about strip tilling is I usually always try to get it done in the fall, and so then my next pass on that field next year, which would be like in the spring like now, is my planter pass. So it's just less passes, and it's, you know, very labor saving for me. And I also was able to sell some of my larger equipment, my deep ripper and my one pass, so then I could, you know, just kind of shorten up my implement lineup, and it's really has worked very good for us. So one of the things that people are a lot of times concerned about is all the heavy residue when you strip till. And in the fall, when I strip till, I use my row cleaners to clean off where the strip is going to go. And then this spring, with my planter, I choose not to freshen, because I think that's one extra pass that I do not have to have. And I just have a good set of row cleaners on my planter, and I can push all this residue to the side that's gotten blown in over the winter, and do a nice job of putting seed right in a nice fresh strip. So in the winter time, I go through my planter, completely tear all the units down, and just make sure everything is up to my specs and everything. And a really important part is my row cleaners, and I make sure them are in very good working conditions, because I rely heavily on them row cleaners to move any of the stalks and stuff that were presently on the strip when it was over the winter time, to try to get my nice perfect seed bed. So I personally do not freshen any of my strips. I feel it's one thing that kind of drew me to the SoilWarrior is I did not have to freshen my strips in the spring. I can just do all that with my planter. I feel that it helps me on my labor costs too, because in that way it's just me out here doing it. I don't have to have another trip to freshen all my strips, and you know, I don't have to have another $100,000 piece of equipment that has to be run back and forth. And another thing that I think is very important is, before I was strip tilling, just like a lot of the people are, I was wondering, well, if I want to plant on Thursday, I want to work the ground on Tuesday, because I wanted to set a day, and you know, just trying to figure out all them logistics. Now, all I got to do is, okay, I think I want to plant today, I just got to go out there and plant. I don't have to worry about all them logistics. I'm trying to figure out when I need to work the ground or not. So that's a huge advantage to me on not having to freshen my strips. I've been really happy with my SoilWarrior on the strips that it makes me in the fall, and it just leaves a nice, very nice seed bed. You know, I can tickle it with my row cleaners, and after I cover it with a planter, it's just a beautiful pass. My good ride on my monitor just stays close to that 98, 99, 100%, because it makes such a nice, beautiful pre-pass there for me just to plant on.